Woo, woo, woo. Where did I go? I'm throwing away. Woo, woo, woo. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello and welcome to the Thursday stream on Twitch. And I hope you're having a good week, or hopefully a good weekend, soon to be weekend, except for Sandman. Sandman's weekend's almost over. Sorry, Sandman. You tell your boss to give you more days off for reals. Hello, Soul. Hello, Tatum Pancakes. Hello, Small. Is that it? That's everybody? Okay. Let's do. You want to do Pictionary really quick before everyone gets here? Here, you can't. I need to grab the pencil. Grab pencils. I will pick the color. Where's the pencils at? Oh, I gotta make them appear. I gotta click on world, and then pens. Wait, did I click that right? And then I gotta pick a pen. I'll pick the pink pencil. The pink pencil. Naz Gulud. Naz, hello, welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you're here too. Put that there. Okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready to do Pictionary. Hi, Ziggbee. Hello, Paige. Hello, Paige Mustang. Thank you for shit. Paige Mustang. I was gonna say. Oh, let's see here. Hello, welcome to Stream Elements. Just joking. Stream Elements is always here. It's a bot. Anastasia Rose, hello. You're my favorite. What? My favorite Ziggbee? Is there another one? Thank you for saying I'm your favorite. Muddy Blues. I don't think I said Muddy Blues in a long time. Hello, Muddy Blues. Ghost, non-binary. Welcome, Ghost. You're new to the Twitch area because Twitch has told me so it must be true. Welcome, Ghost. I'm glad you can find me on Twitch and join me here as well. I believe you come from TikTok, and most certainly you do come from TikTok. Just for J2, hello. Hello, Zazzy Ferret. I'm watching with my mom today. Oh, that's so sweet, Paige Mustang. That's so sweet. Hello, Mama Paige Mustang. Hello, welcome. Welcome to a little stream on TikTok. I'm a little talking ferret. That's it. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. What else to say? Featuring Rat. Hello, Featuring Rat. Hello, Featuring Rat. Welcome as well. Anastasia Rose, are you what? You are my only Ziggbee, but still a favorite. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Costume One, for giving a gifted community sub and giving it a total of 217 gifted subs. Hear that, everybody? That's a number to beat. No, just kidding. Thank you, Costume One, for the gifted tier 1 subscription. It looks like Lolly Loser got it. Good. Congratulations to Lolly Loser. Thank you, Costume One, for being a Big Bean community supporter. And Miku Girl, hello. Miku, is it Miku Girl? Well, hello and welcome as well. Costume One, the best talking ferret. Oh wait, I got itches. There you go. I had itches on my leg. I had to scratch them. Paige Mom in the house. Yeah. Bren Bama. Patreon Rat, thank you for the very generous direct tip. Thank you for that. You didn't have to do that, but thank you so much. It's a huge tip. Thank you very much for that. Supporting this little ferret on streaming on Twitch and it was TikTok as well. Basically all the platforms that I stream on, you're supporting me. Thank you very much. Hi, Zigbeans. Hey, Ziggbee, how are you? I'm doing okay, Taylor. Hello, Taylor. Welcome. Welcome. Clips is new chatter here too. Hello, Clips. Hello. Welcome. What is your username of VRC? It's a secret. It's probably a Ziggbee, but I don't really accept any friends requests, unfortunately, because I just stream on VR chat. But if we ever have a community event, we'll probably say it in Discord eventually if we ever do. We haven't done it in a long time though. We haven't done community events in a long time because we're antisocial. We're not very social. Patreon Rat says, "Oh no, I forgot to get Fuji what? Oh, don't you tease me about Fuji water. Fuji water is so delicious. I try not to get it because it's too expensive and too luxurious and expensive. Basically, it's just a waste of money. But it does taste really good though. I try not to get it though because it's expensive. But yes, get your Fuji water ready. It's the best water you can get. What is your wait? I read that twice. Sorry, Twitch crashes. I'm back. Welcome back, Ghost. I'm sorry to hear that Twitch crashes. It shouldn't crash, hopefully. Oh, that's too short, Small. I'm not that short. I'm much longer, as you can see. Look at this. Get on my tippy toes. That's how long I am. See, Zazzy Ferret, I heard there was a scandal talking about you. You were the longest ferret. I just want to clarify that I am the longest ferret. Okay, Zazzy Ferret. You're me size, Ziggbee? No, small. You're smaller. I think you're smaller sometimes. Thank you, Paige Mustang. The accurate representation of my length is right there. Zazzy Ferret says, no. Who said that? I don't know. I've been hearing things. I've been hearing whispers. Is Sandman here? Sandman, I'm a little late, but I'm here. Hello, Sandman. I'm glad you can make it and you didn't fall asleep. But if you want to fall asleep, you can though. Sometimes you take little naps. That sounds wonderful. Actually, take some naps. You can take some naps, right? Oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Thank you, Featuring Rat.
2 subs.
Whoa, boing, boing. Why is my head going back like that? Boing. Curse jumps. Thank you, Featuring Rat, for giving 2 community gifted subs. And giving a gifted total of 34 gifted subs. Also give it to Mr. Bosco and New York Bear 87. New York Bear? Are you from New York? I bet that's your birth date, 87. 1987. How old does that make you? I don't know. 20 or something? I don't know. I can't do math in years so well very quickly. Sandman. Oh, those other people to thank too, right? Those redeems. No, take it easy on redeems. I'm gonna increase the price. Oh my gosh.
Tier 1 sub to Goo.
Oh, thank you to Costumed One for giving a gifted community sub. Another one too. Giving it to KS Pop GU. Congratulations for getting a gifted sub. I hope you enjoy your emotes and ad-free experience on this channel. Small, let's see, there's redeems for hydrate. Muddy Blues, I will get some hydration for you. I will drink some water. What's that hype with the Christmas lights on it? Oh, I want Christmas. I haven't seen Christmas stuff yet. Oh, I have seen Christmas stuff. I think in Costco, I saw a little section at one Costco where they had ribbons that were holiday themed, like Christmas themed. So it's coming. And Halloween's definitely here already because I saw a witch in a Costco. So that's usually kicks off the holiday season with the witch at Costco. I think that's going to be my thing.
The _Sandman_ just gifted 5 subs.
Oh my gosh! The Sandman dropping a huge 5 tier 1 subscriptions.
Unknown_Muse gifted Monk 10 subscription.
Oh my gosh!
Gifted a tier 1 sub to Monk.
You and Sandman are both close together. Sandman's at 283 gifted subscriptions. Lucky Pastaroni got it. Kazur got it. Gamer Kitten got it. Tofu, Michelle Afrez, and I'm a monk.
They have given 273 gift subs in the channel.
Sandman's just slightly ahead of you too. I can't believe you've given us so much too, Unknown Muse. Thank you, Sandman, Unknown Muse. Unknown Muse giving tier 1 gifted sub, actually 2 of them individually. And being a total of 273 gifted subs, Unknown Muse. What are you made of money? You need to calm down. Thank you for that. And also, congratulations to I Am Monk that got it from Unknown Muse. And also, for Unknown Muse, gave it to General Raven. Good job. Thank you for that. Very kind of you all. You're very generous beings. Supporting a ferret and giving subscriptions to bypass Twitch's horrible ad system that forcibly makes you try to watch ads. Whoa, boing! I need hydration. Okay, right.
10 subs.
Okay, what is going? No, Costume One, you need to calm down. No, I didn't. I'm gonna stop talking because I think I'm encouraging this behavior. Costume One, thank you for giving a huge. Ginormous, is that a word? Ginormous 10 subscriptions, tier 1, 10. I can't even keep up with how fast, how many people. Let me name some of the names that got it. Santa, XOXO, Beg is gone, Cal 3B04, Mount Laurel. Oh, Mount Laurel, you got one. Papoose, LED, Vampire Wolf Boy, Waffle Library, Calvet, Chas, I'm probably saying the way wrong, Zuril Lolf, And Ghost Non-Binary got it too. See, Ghost Non-Binary, you already got hooked up with a free gifted sub on Twitch. It goes to wonder I should probably stream more on Twitch than 1 day a week. You know, I haven't played that one game in a long time. That physics game where you draw and you try to get like little balls into a place. That's a terrible description. I don't know what the name of the game is, but it was fun and I played it a long time ago. Now I'm behind on messages. I'm teaching my mom how to use emotes. Listen, Paige Mustang's Mama Paige Mustang, you can spam as much emotes as you want. You can use them in combination. It's for fun. They'll pop up on the screen occasionally a little bit. They'll pop up in chat. So yes, teach Mama Paige Mustang how to do that. So Mama, oh my gosh, I can't talk anymore. Sandman putting diamond beans in the middle of me. I agree. Team Twitch. Yes, I'm a monk. There's these balls, and you have to get the balls somewhere else, and you have to draw little shapes that are physics-based, and it can try to push the balls around. It's very interesting and fascinating, honestly. Hello, Sky. Welcome as well. I'm gonna do the hydrate first. Let me check that off and do a hydrate first. Thankfully, I do have some water here. Some magic invisible water you can't see, but I can see and actually drink it, and it tastes delicious. It does make me a little cursed. My voice is breaking. It does make me a little cursed when I drink the water because I'm holding it in my paw and you can't see it. Delicious, delicious water. I see some people have also redeemed Grunty Kicks, which I added last stream. Because peer pressure, people kept asking for it, and eventually everyone was like, you better do it, Ziggbee, and everyone was kind enough to remind me too, because I kept forgetting. So I will do Grunty Kicks. I almost read that as Grunty Kisses. And that's not what that, I can read sometimes, not really. Grunty Kicks from Peach Ring Rat. Grunty Kicks for Small. And then Grunty Kicks for Noah as well. And also Grunty Kicks for Costume One. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. Okay, I'm exhausted now, everybody. No more Grunty Kicks, okay? Let's all calm down about the Grunty Kicks. Are we ready to play Pictionary? I picked some words. Sandman was kind enough to give a theme in Discord. The theme will be summer 2023. Actually, the year doesn't matter. It's just summer themed words. So Sandman was saying that he's gonna look for a word list, and I said that's not how I'm getting the words, and I'm not telling you how I get the words either. But I got a couple words for summer themed, and we'll do that for fun. And then I might experiment with growing big afterwards. Did you know that? They added that to VR chat. You can grow big. Here, let me sample it for you. Brace yourselves, everybody. Wait, can I remember how to do this? It's in here. Wait, is it in here? Wait, it's not in here. Hold, please. Is it expressions? Quick actions? Oh, maybe this is it. Okay. Grow bigger. Not smaller. Oh, that's okay. That's too big. No, that's too. Okay, get smaller. Okay. There we go. How's that? I can do Alice in Wonderland tricks now. I just eat a little bit. Well, actually, I don't get anything sweet to eat. I wish I could eat something sweet and then get smaller or bigger. But yeah, it's an Alice in Wonderland trick, magic trick of a confectionery sweet treat that she eats in Alice in Wonderland. She can get bigger and smaller. OMG, was that terrifying? Paige must say, hopefully it wasn't terrifying. Was that terrifying? Careful, Ziggbee. Without your dazzle stars, you might cause a chain reaction in the magic. It's okay. I think it's native to this reality now. They wove it into this reality and also broke me because you can't see it now, but I found a workaround. But sometimes my legs get cursed. But anyways, yes, we're gonna play Pictionary, Return of Bigby. Yeah, now it's supported by VR chat. I can just do it effortlessly. Anybody can do it in VR chat now. Did you know that? It's a supported feature. That's pretty cool though. Okay, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Thankfully I drank some coffee before I started streaming because I was getting a little bit tired. Okay. Show me the words. I gotta boot this thing up. Let's see here. Not that one. What's my newest word? We'll do this one first. Ready? Are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Thank you for the sugar, Tatum pancakes. I think I put about 2 teaspoons of white sugar into my coffee before I started streaming. Very delicious, and I use cashew milk, which is a thing. Yes. And then I had some Folgers coffee. Folgers. You ever smell coffee, ground coffee? It smells so good. I don't know why it smells good. It smells delicious. You ever smell ground coffee? Random thoughts. Okay. Let's go and start the round. You all ready? Start the round. How do I draw this? I don't know how to draw this. Give me a second. Don't start guessing. Okay. What? No. Who? No, stop guessing. That's cheating. The answer is beach. Everyone put beach in the chat. Oh my god. That's it. Oh my gosh. Is it that easy? Maybe I should not have told you the theme. I shouldn't have told you the theme. Oh my gosh. To be fair, I did put shore in there as well, because if you're from the East Coast, they call it the shore. You know, like, it's called the shore. I don't know why, but that's the beach is for the West Coast and the East Coast is called the shore. That's it. It's Tatum's fault. Did Tatum start it, basically? Someone said beach like way early. Let's see who's at fault here. Show me the round scores. Tatum pancake. Are you that eager to try to win that you would throw out words and guessing? Actually, it's a very good guess. So I did say summer, and the first thing that comes to mind is probably the beach. So we have Tatum pancakes with questionable means getting first place, sniping the word. Is that fair? It's a gray area because I did say the theme of the words. But yeah, it's not. It's a little gray, little questionable. But Tatum pancakes got first place for that word. Solar got second place, and third place is Mudda Blues. Good job on that. Okay, Ape Ranger, I see you at the bottom there. Ape Ranger, part of the Power Rangers. Is there an Ape Ranger in Power Rangers? No, I don't think there is. There's just colored Rangers, like green, blue, red, pink, yellow. There's black, there's white. Is there any other colored Rangers, Power Rangers? I think it's all of them. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Let me hide the scores for that. Okay. What is chat saying? Pretty ferret. Thank you for calling me a pretty ferret. I appreciate that. That's a very kind thing to say when you come into chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Solar, I do be fair, just speedy. Okay, that's a fair, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. Featuring Rat, he used to be a Power Ranger. Jeez, I'm gonna cough. Give me a sec. Oh, don't worry, I'm fine. Ziggbee the sick little ferret. I'm sick. No, I'm fine, really. I did have some trail mix, so it probably got in my throat. Okay, anyway, sorry about that. What was I talking about? You were talking about, wait, oh my gosh. Ape Ranger sometimes plays on Halloween, a different Power Ranger. I see. I need some water. I'm gonna get some water, okay? Embarrassing, everybody. I'm being embarrassing right now. Redeems? Oh, there's one redeems for a boops. I'll do the reboot. I'll do the boops in a moment. Delicious. Delicious, delicious water. The redeems for boops. I will give you boops money. Well, I'm calling you Muddy Blues. That's Addy. That's actually I look closer. Maybe I need glasses. Miku girl 16 asking for the boops. I will give you the boops. I saw. You may give me the boops, okay? There's a couple. Don't give me too many though, okay? Here you go. You can give me some boops, all right? You can boop my nose. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, boop your nose too if you want. Boop, 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 boop. There you go. Get up. Come and get down with the. Wait, what? Oh no, I gave you. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Sometimes I do cough occasionally. I'm fine though. Probably because I talk too much and yes. Taylor, thank you for showing the beans. Why did one of them get turned to like a message? Oh, you did. It was like type something strange. Thank you, Solar, for dancing. That's adorable emote, honestly. Okay, next word. Let's go to the next word. Ziggbee dance grumpy like. Grumpy like, and you get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Don't get out of here. I'm kidding. I'll do a little dance, okay? I can't play. Listen, I'm not supposed to play Spotify because it's copyrighted music, but I did try to play it early and it wasn't working, so I can't pick a cool song. So I'll have to do a impromptu dance. There, I did it with this music. I try my best, okay? Interpretive dance. Yes, that's what basically I do. I don't know how to dance. I just kind of move with the music and hopefully it looks good. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. Show me the next word for Pictionary. Next word would be, I almost said it. Don't say it, Ziggbee. Okay, ready? I gotta be ready because I'm worried that Hayden will guess it or something. Okay, here we go. Start the round. Okay, don't be guessing. Too much. Dow small. I saw that. Wait, I'm gonna redo this. What do you do with the? Oh, got it. That's right, it's a barbecue or BBQ. I also put in there. Sorry, Sandman, I didn't put the British terminology for it, which is, if you don't know from the UK, if you're having a barbecue, it's called cooking up a stink. Yes, it's true. It's been validated by Sandman, a native to the UK, so it must be absolutely true. Let's see. Who got it? Show me the round scores for barbecue. Tatum's cheating again. I mean, Tatum, congratulations, you are first place for barbecue as well. Are you cheating, Tatum? What are you doing? Seriously, are you cheating or something? Are you spamming words? What is going on here? Are you psychic? See, Sandman confirms, cooking up a stink. Thank you for having both spelled of C and Q. Wait, what? Yeah, I put yes, barbecue. I did the letters too. Hi, Zippy. Hello, strawberry. Strawberry wine. How can I cheat? I don't know, Tatum. I don't know how you can cheat. Cause I don't know. Yes, I see the future. Can you tell me the winning numbers for the lottery, Tatum Pancakes? I guess if you had that power, you would probably use it already. Never mind, you don't have any future-seen powers. I logicked it out. You don't. You're just doing a good job. Strawberry Wine says, oh, I missed the stream. You didn't miss it. We just started. Kind of, not really. We've been streaming for 24 minutes. That's not very long. Barbecue. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't put both barbecues in. I put the one, I don't know which one I put in there. But congratulations to Tatum getting barbecue. And then also second place is Small. And third place, there's 2 people. There's Solar and Featuring Rat. Good job. I give you little claps. The littles of claps. Unless I grow big, then they'd be big claps. But right now they're little claps. They have barrier magic on the lotto numbers, unfortunately. You know, Tatum, actually, that makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't put it past them because anything related to money and stuff and power, if they have magic, they would probably put barriers on it so you can't divine the answers. That's good to know. That's good to know, though. You're probably right about that. That makes a lot of sense. Whoa! Whoa, there's many things you can do to put up barriers to block people from, what do you call it? Foreseen. What is it called? It's a school of magic. I'm going blank here. Clairvoyance? No, it's called divination. Divination! There you go. Protections from that and seeing and stuff. Next word. Next prompt. Okay, here you get ready? We're going fast. Okay, ready? Here we go. It looks like an egg. Egg. Can I have enough room over here? Is that making sense? I was trying to draw a person with sunglasses on, close to the sun, putting some kind of stuff on them, and it was sunscreen. I think I put sun lotion too. It's not even a word, but I put it in there for the secondary word. Did I say sun? I put some random word that doesn't even make any sense. But the answer is sunscreen for one of the words. Good job. Who's what chat's saying though, if they're getting mad or not. Suntan lotion. Oh, I didn't put that word in there. I just put sunscreen. Suntan lotion. Does it actually make you tan though? Like if you put sunscreen on, it's supposed to protect you from the sun. I don't think it's supposed to help with the tanning process necessarily. But yeah, I think it's also called suntan lotion sometimes, right? You're right. I think I would call it suntan lotion sometimes too, but I would probably be corrected and be like, no, you don't tan with that stuff. Wow, there be what? Tatum pancakes. Space gate. No, there's no spaces. There's no spaces. What are you talking about? There's no spaces here. I think it's one. Is it normally one word? I don't know. I'm just gonna go with whatever I put in here. That's part of the challenge. Deal with it. Okay, let's see how we did for that word and that. Show me the round scores for sunscreen or sun lotion. I just put sun lotion in there too. Muddy Blues first place. Pop. Is it Pope? It's Pop. Papoose. LED second place, and third place is Solar. Where's Tatum on there? Tatum, are you on here? No, I guess not. Okay, well, that allows Muddy Blues, Papoose LED to get ahead, and also Solar. Good job. Good job. Hide the scores. New follow here. Hello, Mystic Wolf King. Tell me your story. Where do you come from? What do you know? What does the wolf say? Ooh. Yes, it says your new time chatter too. Tell me everything, Mystic Wolf. Unless you're a troll. Then get out of here. No, just kidding. Well, not really kidding. I'm actually serious. Why did I say sun-dried egg? Is that a summer thing that I'm not familiar with? I mean, can you? That sounds. I don't know. Is that even a thing? I see Tama Beans too, by the way. I come from the USA and I'm immortal. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You know, usually though, when people say they're immortal, they're usually not, because vampires say it all the time and then they get defeated all the time. So if you get defeated, are you immortal? I don't think so. But yes, welcome, Mystic. I got it right. Mystic, a Wolf King. Egg. I don't need sunscreen if you never go outside. That is true, Sandman. That is very true. If you stay indoors, you're pretty safe from the sun, thankfully. So there is a benefit to being, what do you call it? Introverted. Yes, to being introverted is no, you don't get sunburned so much at all. Wait, what? Solar? You can be immortal under normal circumstances and still be killed. Okay. Fair enough. There are some things that are actually, well, it's hard to say. Like sometimes there's some deities, like in fantasy, that are really more immortal to the point where since you can't defeat them, the most you can do is seal them away for a while. And it's pretty useful to basically like a timeout, like, okay, you need to take a timeout for like a few thousand years, 10,000 years, and you can put them aside for a while, but they'll come back eventually. But normal mortals, yeah. There's always a way if you try hard enough. That is true, Tatum Pancake. That is the problem, really. If you're persistent enough, if you have enough time, you can find a way. But yes, okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted by all this conversation about philosophical things. Take the God of War approach. Wait, what is the God of War approach? Take a special material that can actually hurt that particular thing? Or is that something else? Go sit on the naughty step for a few thousand years. Exactly, Sandman. Exactly. Doesn't stop them, but it does give you some peace and quiet for a while they are temporarily sealed away, which is nice. What? I'm really sick, guys. So if I don't talk, I'm listening. Strawberry, you need to get better. Take it easy, okay? Oh, you feel better. Being sick is never very fun. Wait, why is the ad break thing coming up? Ad break ends in 25 seconds. Ad break in what does that mean, ad break in progress? I have no idea what's going on with Twitch. Are there ads playing now? I have no idea. Anyways, let's go to the next word. Start the round. I'm yelling. Is it okay if I yell? I guess it's okay if I yell. I don't know how to draw this. Okay, I'm gonna make it worse if I put a whole bunch of stuff on there. I probably should have drawn this to begin with. Something like that. It looks like pizza though, but it's not pizza. It is watermelon. A nice little summer treat you can eat. I'm not very good at drawing watermelons. Don't they have zigzag lines, or they kind of have like stripes sometimes? But now it's starting to look like an Easter egg. So yeah, forget that. Okay. Impressive if you can decipher my drawings at all. Let's see who. Oh, where's the watermelon emote thing? Let's see who got watermelon. Show me the round scores for watermelon. Only a couple, you guys, so that was a little bit harder. First place, Solar. I think Solar's getting ahead. Small second place. A Tatum Pancake is also second place on that word. And third place is Muddy Blues. Good job. Good job. I also see Anastasia Rose on there and Ape Ranger. Good job. I think there might be 2 more words, and that's about it, I think. Well, we'll find out, I guess. We'll see. How's everyone doing? Everyone okay? Ad break in progress. Ad break ends in 3 seconds. 2, 1. Ad break ended. Your community is back. Welcome back, everybody. If you got an ad, boy, that's not fun, is it? That's why you can subscribe or use your Prime. See, I think everyone here is subscribed, actually. There's always a couple people that aren't. My nose, don't sneeze. Ugh, gosh, I'm gonna sneeze one day and it's gonna be embarrassing. Yeah, marketing. I'm not very good at it though. Those these Ziggbee. Okay, I'm fine. Don't worry, I'm fine. All right. Next word. I think there's only a couple more words left. Then we're gonna go to a place that I'm gonna grow big. Well, you saw me grow big earlier, but you're gonna see it again. Next word. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you a hint because I want it to be fair and I want people to get mad. Specifically, Tatum Pancake, and maybe Sandman. Basically, a lot of people. So there is a. Wait, did I put both? Never mind. I'm not gonna tell you. Never mind. I have both. Never mind. So are you ready? Oh my gosh, my nose. Start the round. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Correct. It's an ice lolly. I heard a Victorian NPC once say that in NPC mode, people gave her ice cream and she's like, I do enjoy sweets. Thank you for the ice lolly, or something like that. It was adorable. Okay, yes, I'm doing ice cream. I also put the one without the space. Ice cream is one word, even though it's not typically one word, okay? So that means not people can't get mad at me. Well, I guess people still could get mad at me. But let's see the round scores for ice cream. Ice cream soda. I should get some ice cream this weekend, probably. Show me the round scores. Oh, a lot of you got that one because it's probably pretty easy as far as the easy to draw and quick and stuff. First place for that, Solar again. Solar, I think, is getting ahead. Second place is Tatum Pancakes, and third place is Small Boy 101. Sorry, I don't know why I did like that, but Ape Ranger, you got in that too. You're fourth place. Good job. Okay, let's see here. The music sounded weird to me for a moment. I thought I was gonna break into that one song never mind. Hi, the scores for now. We have a couple more. Let's see, how many more do we have left? A couple more. We have a couple more. So you still have a chance, everybody. Well, some of you do. Fair, that's fair. What did Small say? Small got to give a break. Well, it could turn out bad quickly. Wait, what? Wait, what? You need to get the mint cookies and cream ice cream, Ziggbee. Oh, are you joking me? How about the Oreo? The Oreo is way better. Oreo's mint is the best. I think it's even better. I think it's better than even the cookies one. If you tried the Oreo one, it's delicious. If you have Amazon Prime, I keep reading Stream Elements. Yeah, the Oreo ice cream. Did you have it yet? Yes, on my birthday I did. I got some for my birthday, and I had it with cake, and it was very luxurious to have mint chip Oreo ice cream with I think it was like a chocolate or fudge type cake. Oh, it was biggest chef kiss in the world. It was very good and delicious. Yeah, happy birthday, Ziggbee. Thank you, Paige Mustang. It was in June. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna do probably 2 more words, I assume. I don't know for sure though. Whoa! Boing. That was a freebie. Oh, Boops from Jawless Foil. Hello, Jawless Foil. Welcome back again. Jawless Foil wants the boops. Come here, Jawless Foil. Oh my gosh, I went through the camera again. Ignore that, okay? Boop, 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 boop. You may boop my nose, but I get to boop your nose too if you let me. Boop, 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 boop. You had fudge cake and didn't give me any? Oh, I'm sorry, Small. I don't think it would ship. It would probably cost like $100 to ship it to the UK. I think it's expensive to ship from the States to the UK, isn't it? Well, unbelievable. Yeah. Plus, it would probably take a while to get there too. Depends on what you ship. That's a good point. If you ship like stickers, it's probably cheaper though, right? Like a very small thing. But if you try to ship Lucky Charms, you know, when Sandman said that Lucky Charms are very expensive in the UK, I was having a scheme in my little ferret head thinking, They're not as, well, they're still expensive in the States, but they're not as expensive in the States. I can buy them and ship them to Sandman and we can have like an illegal Lucky Charms business. But apparently the shipping's very expensive, so that wouldn't work out so great. I couldn't send Lucky Charms to Sandman. Exactly. Exactly. There you go. It's prohibitively expensive, and also sometimes they don't let you ship food, I think. Since it's in a standard food, never mind, I don't know. I'm rambling. Boing, boing. I'm gonna boing to change the subject. But you're probably made differently as well. It might be. We have the gross stuff in our foods. Is it different? It might be a little bit different. I'm not sure. They might have a factory there. That would make sense unless they ship a whole bunch over there. Boing. So many beans trying to get Lucky Charms to me. Sandman, that's because they're magically delicious. Didn't you know that they're magically? They're not just normally delicious. It's not just sugar and stuff. It's magic sugar. Maybe, I don't know. It's not really. But yeah, Small Boy says, yeah, food standards for food in UK and US are different. Yeah, they'll throw anything in the US food. They do not care as much, but yes. Gotta put them in a metal container instead of the normal box. Half joking. A lead box, so the magic doesn't escape. Okay, next one. Next word is, okay. Start the round. Start the square. Start the octagon. Let's see here. How do we do this? I don't know. I'm drawing. What is this? I'm drawing. I don't know what that is. Is this a thing? Is this a thing? I think that's a thing, right? Is this? Woo, Wiggles in there. I'm putting Wiggles in there. It's, of course it's a pool. What do you think I was drawing? It's so obvious. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's not that obvious. It looks like, what if I change this into a different thing? Like this is an eye. And he's like, what's up? And then there's a mouth here. And that's its mouth. Oh, wait, is that its mouth? I don't know. And this is its eye. And it's like a dragon head or something. And that looks nothing like, it's got a mouth here and an eye. It looks pretty messed up. Do you ever do that in school or art class or anything? Or just for a fun activity? You take some lines or some scribbles and then you try to turn it into something interesting looking. Show me the round scores for pool. I don't know why I said it like that. Only 3 of you, so oh my gosh, Small got ahead of that one. Small got first place for pool. Solar got second place for pool. And Sandman got third place for pool. Good job. Cooking up a stink by the pool. Remember, don't cook up a stink in the pool because that's not how it works. You got to cook it out of the pool. Cook it out of the pool, the stinks. Okay, hide the scores for that. I want to see what chat's saying too, because I can't see chat very good when I do the Pictionary setting things. Taylor says no. Why are you saying no, Taylor? What's wrong? Oh, I put pool noodle. Pool noodles. Oh my gosh, I can't say that. Pool noodles are fun. You know, you can get them for super cheap at like dollar stores and stuff. They have them sometimes during the summertime. You get them for super cheap if you have a swimming pool, that is. Sandman, you're making curse things. I'm not Cat Dog. That's like, that makes me think of Cat Dog, the cartoon. You put my head at both ends of my ferret body. But that was very creative, though. That's very creative of you. I appreciate your creativity. Taylor, I didn't get on the board. I'm sorry, Taylor. It's okay. It's kind of hard because there's delays and stuff. Level K. Ferret, never mind. What? Mouse? No, I'm not a mouse. Level K. I'm not a mouse. First time chatter. I am clearly a ferret with many curves and a sparkling, gorgeous turtleneck sweater and hat with a feather in my cap. Scholar says, alone in a world in a little cat dog. Alone in a world is a, wait, what? Tatum, no, that's even more cursed. No, Tatum, that's plagiarism. You're trying to plagiarize Sandman's idea. No, you're going to copyright jail, Tatum. I'm sorry. FBI going to jail. You never watched the show? Not really, Soul. I'm aware of the characters, but didn't really watch the show that much. Butt B. That's it. You're definitely going to jail now, Tatum. You're definitely going to jail. Okay. I think this might be the last word or close to the last word. No, there's more words. Oh my gosh, there's more words. How many words are there? I guess I could stop anytime I want, really. I'll do rapid fire. Let's do 2 really quick. Start the round. I think it's just 2 more, maybe? I don't know. Does that make sense? Wait. Uh-oh. Wait, did I spell it wrong? Uh-oh. Wait. I spelled it wrong, everybody. I'm gonna stop it. Oh my gosh, you actually got it. Everyone's got it right. I spelled it wrong. No! If you no, who did it? No! No! Did I spell it wrong for real? How do you spell that? Let's see here. Let's put a Google search. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. Why did I do that? Oh, right, dyslexia. Okay, I spelled it bonefire. So if you got bonefire, congratulations, you passed dyslexia test. Let's see how many of you are able to combat dyslexia. This will be an interesting experiment, show me the round scores for bonefire. Wow, that's very impressive, actually. We got Muddy Blues on point. Immediately after, almost, is Solar, then Small, and Paige Mustang. Congratulations. I also now know who has dyslexia. Most likely, maybe, possibly. Hide the scores. See, that's a difficult level of challenge there. Can the ferret spell words? And that sometimes the answer is no. To be honest, I copied Muddy. Oh, that's fair. That's fair, Solar. Sometimes that's a winning strategy in life, to copy and then just get good points. Yeah, that's a life lesson right there, actually, I think. Bonefire Gate. That's fair. That one's actually fair. That's legitimately fair. Now, people are gonna make fun of me forever for that. So let's me try to distract you with a new word, and maybe we'll forget about this little incident. Let's see here. Next word. Oh, that's the same word. Next word. Oh, this one's good. This one's good. Hopefully I spelled this one right. Let's see here. We'll draw this. Yay, so much fun. Wee, look at they're smiling. Whoa, what are they doing? I don't know yet. Let's find out. Whoa, what is that? Is that from the 70s or 80s? I don't know what time period this is. Whoa, what are they doing? What is this? Maybe we should make one of those cage things. It's like a long pole with like a chain to catch it. Have you seen those things? I think something like that. I don't know. It catches them. Frisbee! Wait, that sounds kind of like my name. Ziggbee! Frisbee! Actually, that's a pretty good name, actually. If you mix with Frisbee! Frisbee! Besbee! Did I spell it right, everybody? Ping pong! No, it was not ping pong, but actually, that's a good guess, though. Ziggbee Frisbee. That's very similar, yes. Show me the round scores for Frisbee. Ooh, a lot more of you that time. A whole 10 of you, that's good. First place is Solar. Second place is Anastasia Rose. And third place is Tatum Pancakes. There's no relation to the coughing. I think I need to drink more water. I'm gonna drink more water, and then we'll do our hide the scores. We'll do, I think, our final word possibly. I think that's the final. How many words I got here? I got a little zealous. Zealous? Eager? Overachieving? I put too many words in, basically. I guess I don't have to do them all, though. Drinking water, freebie. Delicious, delicious water. How is chat doing? Is everyone okay? Everyone anybody really mad? Cop on me, a woo. How dare you? I'm sorry, Tatum Pancake. Can't. I'm competitive. What's going on here? Let it be over. No, it's not over yet. There's one more word. Start the rant. Where's my pencil? Anyone see my pencil? Oh my gosh. Did I put it in the bushes? No, seriously, I lost it. Pencil. Where did I put the pencil in? Pencil? Are you in the bush? Are you in the tree? Wait, I think I saw something. Where is it? How can I not see it? It's like bright pink. Where's the pencil at? No, someone... No, I didn't get the pencil yet. You can't be guessing. No, seriously, I can't find the pencil though. Where are you, pencil? Why don't I see it? Did I throw it in the ground? Pencil! Oh my gosh. This is cursed. This is all cursed. Is it in the wall? Wait, it's in the tree. How did you get it stuck in the tree? I couldn't see it in the tree. That's not fair. I'm gonna sit down. That's it. I'm gonna sit down. Why am I in the ground? Why am I in the grounds? I'm getting absorbed into the ground. What am I gonna do to people? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We'll call this not Pictionary. We'll call this Guess the Words. Guess the Words game. That's fine. Show me the round scores for the thing I didn't even draw. Round scores. Who got it? 2 people got it. Congratulations, Muddy Blues and Paige Mustang. The answer was Summerbat. I think I put Summerbat as one word as well. Possibly. I don't know, guarantees. But yes. It's even let me draw a bat. Okay, we're gonna need a new meme. Everybody, we're gonna need a new meme pretty soon. I copied Muddy Blues. I want to see the drawing you were going to do. That's fair. That's fair. Let me grab the pencil now that I found it. Okay. First, I would think like, how would I deceive you? Actually, I don't know. I would probably try to draw some glasses, sunglasses first. That's very sunny summer. Maybe. What would you draw for? Maybe a baseball cap that's on backwards. An invisible person. And then I would draw maybe oh, let's do some cool ears there. That would have been cool. And then like a head there. I forgot what their mouth is like. They have a body. And then the little feet. And then their beautiful wings. Something like that, maybe. Oh, they should have a boogie board or something. There, get some teeth too. It's just chilling. Swim trunks, that's right. That would be good. I'll do some swim trunks. I'll color them in so you can see them. There you go. Some swim trunks. It's good to go. It's good to go to the beach. There you go. You love the summer bat? Summer bat is pretty cool. Whenever you have sunglasses on and a backwards cap and a skateboard, I didn't give them a skateboard. That means you're pretty cool from the 80s or 90s. Okay, hide the score. You want to see who the winner is for this week's Pictionary champion? 90s bat, basically, yes, Solar. Radical tubular. Dude, bro. Okay, yes, let's see who the winner is for this week's Pictionary champion. I think I know who possibly it is. Show me the round. Show me the game scores for the Pictionary champion this week. Show me the game scores. Oh, almost 100 points. Oh my gosh. Holy guacamole. Holy, I don't know. Holy Swiss cheese. We have Solar first place for Pictionary champion of the week this week. Congratulations to Solar with a 95 points, ahead by many points, 7, 8, 9, almost like 20 points ahead. Let's see, honorable mentions, I'll mention everybody. Muddy Blues, Small, Tatum Pancakes, Anastasia Rose, Featuring Rat, Noah, Paige Mustang, The Sandman, Pop Poozle LED, Naz, Ape Ranger, Taylor, Costume One, N Weasel, Sugar Lars, Bren Bomba, Knucklebine, and Mr. Bosco. Did I read all the right? Hopefully I did. I probably did some wrong. But congratulations to Solar. I think you won a couple times as Pictionary champion. Good job, Solar. Very smart and very talented art dragon. And you're adorable and nice. And yes, you get free compliments. Okay, ready to go somewhere else? I'm gonna go to the cooking place. I always want to try to do it like big size. That's where I want to go actually. Good job, Beans. Yes, very good job. We're going on adventures. I have to teleport though first really quick. World. Or I can go a different place too now that I'll be able to be big. I can try different things. I can try new and exciting things in different worlds. Recently visited. Let's see, we will do... What is that place? We will do the cooking place for the time being, I think. Because I want to be able to reach things. So I can cook and stuff. Papoose LEDs. What is that little character there? What is that? It's cute. Is that a cat? I think it's a cat, possibly, right? I should put my "Be Right Back." I got that beautiful "Be Right Back" sign. Where'd it go? Yes, I still didn't change anything. I'm very lazy. Okay, there we go. Why is it always to the side when you load into worlds now? It's kind of strange. Let me see how this looks. I'm so small. Okay, go over here. I'm looking for Ratatouille. Okay, go over here. Or Ratatouille. Looking for Ratatouille. That's down here. Okay. How to do this? Ready? Oh wait, I gotta remember where it is. No, that's not it. Where is it? Where'd I put it? Is it there? Wait. Hold, please. Wait, no, I'm waving. No, that's not what I want to do. Okay, ready? Boop. No, not tiny. Boop. Is that pretty good? How do I commit to this? Oh, oh wait, why did I go small again? No! Why am I waving? No, stop waving. Why is my legs? No, why am I clapping? No, stop the clap. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's try that again. What's happening? Wait. Get on the menu. Oh, that's fine. Now I'm just crouching a little bit. That's fine. That's fine. Let's try that again, shall we? Hello? Hello, Zen. Welcome. You're not coming at the best times. I'm having issues here. Let's try that again. Boo! No. Okay, right there. It's probably pretty good. Okay, is that good? Behold, I am the biggest ferret in the world. Wee! Okay, I need to calm down. Where's the camera at though? Camera, you're tiny now. Camera's like super tiny. Now it's ferret-sized kitchen. Someone call OSHA? No, let's not call OSHA. We don't want no trouble from any organizations, especially not the working one. How do we point it downwards? Oh, maybe go like that. Okay, let's see if that works. Yeah. Now I can do normal stuff. Look, I'm a normal. Well, I'm talking ferret, but I can clean your dishes. There you go. Clean your dishes. All I do is tap the sponge on top. They're not very sanitized, but that will do. I'll get the plate floor. The floor plate. Where'd my sponge go? There we go. Get it wet. Get the sponge wet with the dirty water, and then tap, tap, and that's how you clean dishes typically. No, that's not how you clean dishes at all. Okay, let's make something. I can reach stuff now. Need a dishwasher? Dishwashers are nice though. Chef Ziggbee, I'll make you all a cake, okay? I'll make a cake for you. Kitchen boy needs helpers. Oh, that sounds nice. We can't actually play the game though because the game is way too hard though. Let me make you a cake. Flour. Maple syrup. No, we're not gonna put maple syrup. Where's the sugar at? That's the most important thing. Wait, do we have sugar? I forget already. I forget everything already. They don't have sugar, do they? Sorry, I'm gonna make cake without sugar, which is completely not normal. We have eggs. You put that there. And then a bowl. The bowl. Put the egg. I just touch it, it absorbs. Just flour and egg. Mix it up. I'm gonna put the camera a little closer too. Come over here, camera. Come over here. You can watch me do stuff. Okay, mix this. And then what do you do? I forget what you're supposed to do. How do you make the cake? Oh, you need chocolate. Oh, chocolate. You're gonna use chocolate for the sweetness. Even though that's not how it's done typically. Okay, cut it up. And throw it in there too. Seems to be a reaction happening. No. No, come here. Hey, how do I put the chocolate inside there? I forgot already. How do I keep forgetting this? I come here occasionally. Who's waving at me? Hello? Johnny Cage? Johnny Cage. Is that from Mortal Kombat? How do you put the chocolate inside? Did I remember? I forget how you put the chocolate inside. Without sugar, it'll be a cracker, not a cake. Oh, I'm making you a cracker cake. That does not sound very good though. Honey? I don't have any honey. Unless you're calling me honey, then thank you. Rest in peace, sugar. They need sugar. It's very important. You got redeemed. I do have a redeem. Paige Mustang says yeet. What can I yeet? I don't want to yeet. I'll eat a potato. Yeet a potato. Yeet. Yeet. Okay, I don't know where it went. It's gone. Yeet the potato. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Will that help somehow? No, I don't think that actually does anything. Okay. Okay, it doesn't work. Wait, what did I put this in the oven? It needs, wait. It needs sugar though. Open the oven. Put in this. It's cooking something. I guess it'll be a surprise what it is. What if you put it under the mixer? The chocolate? That's a good idea actually. Oh, this is gonna be a sad cake. It's gonna have no flavor. It's gonna have no sugar in it. How do I put the chocolate on top of it? Do I just like touch it with the chocolate pieces? Okay, oh, mixer. Oh, put in the bowl in the mixer. There you go, okay. Put it over here. Yeah, mix it up. Oh, does it have to, wait. What do you put with the, mix it in the bowl? No? Wait, you do some, what else can you put with the chocolate? Is there milk? I'll put raw meat with it. No, that would be terrible. There is, oh, maybe I'll just put flour. Oh, I messed up, everybody. I don't know what kind of cake that is. Is that anything mix this? Wait, then can you put egg in it? It took flour for some reason. And then I'll grab the egg. Wait. Oh, it didn't let me put it in before though. That's weird. Now it mixes? Okay, oh, calm down. No. Calm down. There we go. Okay, now we're making a more proper cake. We're making a proper cake. You eating a potato? Yeah, what's wrong with eating potatoes? Eating potatoes is fine. Sounds like a protein bar. Protein bars are not good tasting. They taste very bad. I tried to eat protein bars, but they make me feel sick. Is there supposed to do that? Open! So what did this, so the other one I made, what is this? Just like supposedly vanilla cake without vanilla? There's two versions, I guess. Let's put some frosting on there. Psh, psh, psh. Ew, it looks like molded cheese. What is with this texture? This looks like blue cheese now. Would anyone like blue cheesecake? Actually, did you put cheese? You don't put actual cheese in the cake, do you? There you go. You put it on top there. It's fine. Or that might be a circle head. I can't tell. I'll put this on the plate. There we go. I'll put the other cursed cake on the... Oh, maybe it's vanilla. They put little roses around it. And then I'll put icing on the chocolate cake. Oh, I just knocked the other cake on the floor. That's fine. No one saw that, right? There we go. Inject the cake with frosting. Oh, look, I made you two cakes. All by myself. I call it cake Brie. Brie believe it. There you go. I'll give you cakes, okay? There you go. I gave you two cakes. That's pretty nice of me. Very fancy. You like it? Good. I'm glad you like it. That's cool. I can actually play games now. What's another one I was too small for that I couldn't really do anything? Usually it's like escape rooms and stuff. Bacon! Bacon! This thing. Soggy bread. What happens if you put a head of lettuce in the oven? Let's go find out. Take a head of lettuce and put it in the oven. There we go. Apparently nothing happens. Nothing at all. Trying to imagine a Ziggbee size Rex. Wait, what's a Rex? Size swapped. Size Rex. Oh, a huge one, like a dinosaur. Dinosaur, yes. I'll tell you what will happen. The iceberg lettuce will melt. No, that's not. That's an illegal joke, I think, in this kitchen. No, the Rex. What's that? What is the Rex? Rexu? I don't know what that is. What is that, soul? What is that? Boing. Let's throw that in the trash. The spiky feather wolf creature on VRC. Spiky wolf creature. I think I might have seen them before. I think so. I think they're kind of cute. Okay, everybody, that's it. I'm gonna go get food for reals probably. Kind of like a basic stream. Is it okay? It's a basic stream. I'm gonna lock the camera. We'll talk over here. I don't want to be by the meat fridge. That's weird. I want to be. Thank you for the head pass. Make a cake for real. No, I'm not gonna make a cake for real. That's too much cake for me to eat. That was tempting. I could eat a slice, but then never mind. I don't eat it like I shouldn't eat a lot of cake, even though it's delicious. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome, Paige Mustang. Bless up. What does that mean? Everybody, if I don't see you later, like if I don't see you Friday, I don't think I'm gonna stream the weekend. I will see though. If I do, I'll say it in like Twitter. I didn't even tweet this one, but I try to tweet and put in Discord when I do go on TikTok. So if I don't see you hopefully next week, and have a good weekend, okay, everybody? It's good seeing you. Good job playing Pictionary. Congratulations to Solar, being Pictionary Champion of the Week. And that's it. See, this stream was my sign that everything will in fact be okay. Yes, it will. Everything will be okay. Yes. Yes. You are hashtag blessed if you catch my stream. Tell your friends. No, well, yeah, you can tell your friends if you want. But I'm gonna go and get hopefully some yummy foods for if Sib wants some yummy foods, hopefully. I know he's probably tired from a long day of work. If you don't know who Sib is my husband. But yes. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend. Can I get bounces here? Oh my gosh, why can't I jump here? I can't jump here. I can do kicks. I better not kick the metal. That might actually hurt, though. Goodbye, everybody. Woo, 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 woo. Goodbye, everybody. See you next time, okay? Have a nice night. Have a good weekend. I'm gonna leave now. Okay? No, Susie Q, I'm leaving.
Susie just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you, Susie Q, for the gifted community sub. Who got that? I'm giving out a total of 55 gifted subs, Susie Q. Thank you. And lucky Truevision. Got it. Good. Congratulations to Truevision. Goodbye, everybody. Which way should I run? I'll run this way, okay? Bye, everybody. Have a good rest of the week. Oh, I'll give you hugs. I'll give you hugs real quick. If you want hugs, come here. There you go. I almost forgot. I almost forgot, everybody. You get hugs too, okay? I'm very proud of all of you, all right? Goodbye, everybody. And Kamazumi's now. I'm gonna get a little bigger too. Now that I can do that. Let's get a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. That's great. I'll get a little bit bigger. Wait. A little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Okay. I'm gonna zoom these away now. Okay, goodbye. Whoa. Why am I breaking?